John, thanks for sitting down with us for your second RaithTV interview in a week since returning to Starks Park. Let's start with your first impressions of what you've seen in training so far.
Yeah, I've been very impressed. The quality of the player is very good. So we, as soon as the media were finished on Tuesday, I was out in the training ground and we did a morning session, then we did an afternoon session, and which was all about me getting to have a look at the quality of the player here, seeing what their attitude was like and obviously how their ability was. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I've got to say, I thoroughly enjoyed it. The couple of sessions we put on Tuesday. It was great to be back out on the training field from a personal point of view, but also very, very pleasantly surprised at the quality that was on show. So that's good. That's very much a positive for me. That it's, I don't think it's a lack of quality that's an issue. You know, if there is any issues, obviously the fans are looking for the team to win most weeks, as I am. But I can certainly say that based on what I've seen so far, there's a fair amount of quality here. So it may well be that it's just a little bit, whether it's belief, whether it's mentally, or whether it's just tweaking technically, tactically, then but I think there's good quality here, and hopefully in the next 24 hours or so we can add more quality to it, as we certainly picked up injuries last week's game. So that said, hopefully, as I say, we can strengthen the squad and have going a good run.
Yeah. Picking up on a point you just made there, something that you mentioned on the Tuesday was things have changed very obviously a lot since you first came here 12 years ago. Were you pleasantly surprised at the high quality on show that you encountered out there on Tuesday?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I mean, I knew like Louis Vaughan, and it was great to come back and see him. And I forgot how good a player he was. You know, he was absolutely magnificent in training, and obviously it was nice to hear Davo moaning again in training. You know that he's quite loud, Davo, as everyone probably realised. So it was good to hear his tones again. But not just that. You know, there's quality in the squad. You know, all over. So very, very pleased, and I think, you know, adding to that, which it certainly needs adding to it, because there's not a lot of strength in depth, and the injuries that I mentioned there, Grant Gillespie, Kieran Wright, Ross Matthews, all players that will not be involved at the weekend, and even possibly, you know, there's one other who has been in and around the team who's been playing with an injury that we probably have to leave out and try to overcome the injury so that he's at full strength, because he's playing with an injury. Sometimes you have to, sometimes you have no option. However, although things are very, very tight, I think that we have to take this particular player who's remain nameless at the moment for his own benefit, because he's wanting to play, which is a great attitude, but eventually the injury is going to get so bad that he's going to miss even more weeks. So it might take 2 or 3 weeks to get over his injury that he's been having, but that will be better in 6, 7 or 8 weeks when it finally totally goes. So we're probably without 4 players that we had last week going into this game.
Got you right. Again, picking up on what you said about injuries, we'll cover that off. You mentioned, obviously, and as we know, Kieran, Ross, Grant all left the field on Saturday with injuries. Any news on timescale for any of them?
Kieran Wright, it's a minimum of 6 or 7 weeks. Grant Gillespie is 10 to 12 weeks. Ross Matthews is not in that category, but he'll certainly miss this week. We would hope that he may be available for the following week.
Yeah. And with that in mind, you mentioned the need to tweak and enhance the squad a wee bit when you first came on Tuesday. Would I be right in thinking that you're looking at like for like recruitment?
Yeah, exactly. We need to bring another goalkeeper in. Robbie Thompson is fine, and we've got young Sam, you know, Smith, but it's maybe a wee bit bridge too far for young Sam. You know, if we go for now to Christmas with just the 2 lads, it would be very, very difficult. You know, and sometimes putting them in a position that they're not quite ready for can actually be more damaging. So I'm in the process of trying to get a goalkeeper. The Rovers fans will now be panicking because of what happened, you know, a couple of years back or so, which was a horrible situation. It was very, very difficult, and as they know, through that period, goalkeepers are not hanging off the end of trees. They're very, very hard to come by, especially once you get in season. It's difficult. However, we've been on the case since Tuesday. I'm fairly confident, but I've got to say that from the training ground, I've been in here for the past 40 minutes, so I've not managed to get back in and see where that has moved on from, but I certainly will be immediately, hoping that I've got the okay from a Premier League manager to tell me that he's going to allow me to use his goalkeeper.
Well, we'll not keep you too long, so let's move on and talk about the immediate task in front of you, the game against Dumbarton. They're a team that came down from the Championship, and there were lots of people's favourites to do well this season. What do you make of them, and how have they done so far?
Yeah, exactly that. They were the bookies' favourites right from the start of the season, because they've assembled a very, very experienced squad. You know, a squad of Championship players. You know, I can understand Stephen Aitken putting this squad together, and I would be of the same mind if I can put, 11 Championship players onto the pitch in League One. You would hopefully expect them to win that League One, and it may well be that they do, but I think they would be a little bit disappointed that they've not got as many wins and as points on the board as they would have expected at this time in the season. However, I'm still sure that they will be a very difficult opposition to play against on Saturday. But that is the challenge. Every week there's a challenge, and this week is Dumbarton away. A difficult place to go, but we should be well prepared for it. Hopefully we have the new signings in and ready to go. And of course, we're looking to go there. We're unbeaten. We'll look for to at least maintain that with regards to, we're going there to win. Of course we are. We're going there to win. But keeping your unbeaten run going would not be a disaster.
Yeah. Taking two words that you used in your last answer there, well prepared, seems to be one of your hallmarks ever since coming into, becoming involved in management. It's not just what happens on the training pitch; it's what you do in the changing room and with video analysis. And have you been able to have a look at Dumbarton in that regard?
Yeah, well, first of all, with regards to video analysis, now I said in my media on Tuesday, the introduction and all the rest of it, that they weren't. Now I've got to apologise to both Barry Smith and Kevin Cuthbert, because they have been using it. I got false information, and I hold my hands up to both of them and I apologise unreservedly, because I wouldn't like anyone else to come in and say something that I was doing and saying it wasn't done. I would be raging, and I can understand if they are. So I apologise to to Barry and Kevin. So I've apologised and move on. So they have been using it, and we will continue to do so. It's up to me to enhance that as well, is to make it better, like it is with the team. That's my job now, to try and make it better, and to get the players to play in a style that is worthy of winning football matches. And I don't think we're far away, but it might just need a different voice, somebody coming in. It could be something tactical that's needing, it could be mental, it could be a lack of character. There might be a number of just small things that we can get out of the players that will turn the draws into wins, because there's not a lot wrong, but if we can just, exactly as I said the other day there, 3 wins, 4 draws, turn the 4 draws into 3 wins or 4 wins, and you've got a good number of points on the board, much more than what we have right now, and we would be sitting very much at the top of the table. So that's what what we're looking to do. But as I say, and and the fans know, we're coming up against a team who's maybe not quite set the hell on fire as much as we expected, but they'll still be a dangerous opposition with some good players. Hart in the midfield, Debbie at the back, Grant Adam in goals, Bobby Barr, Ross Forbes, Rory Loy, young Jack Aitchison from Celtic, Russell up top, who's been around for a number of years. The fans will know him by playing with a number of clubs, even Livingston and Queen of the South and the like. So they've got a number of good players everyone will recognise, everyone will have seen over the years, and they know that the quality that they've got. However, as far as we're concerned, we've got also good quality players here, and we're certainly looking to go there and implement our game onto them.
Final question from me, and I'll let you away. Whether we were playing Dumbarton on Saturday or any other team in the division, do you see it as a chance to lay down a mark for the rest of the season?
Well, I think we're at that point exactly. I mean, it is my first game, and you can plan and plan and plan, and that is what we are prepared to do. As you said, whether on the pitch, off the pitch, we try to raise standards all the time. Whenever I came previously, and also now, but you can't guarantee. You never know when you cross the line exactly what's going to happen. But we have been planning and preparing for that. I'm like everyone else. My first game, I want to go out and get a win. It was the same 12 years ago, and I think we drew with somebody like Stranraer.
We did, aye.
You know, in the very, very first game. So, and everything fell into place thereafter to a certain extent. So, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day, but we're trying to get our the way we want to play across to the players. They've been very receptive to that. They've responded very well, and as I say, fingers crossed we can put it in the plan on Saturday.
Great. Thanks for all that, John. Good luck for the weekend.
Thank you.